Hi and welcome to Encore. I'm Connor and I'm with the lovely Alice Fearn here backstage at Wicked the Musical. Hi Alice, how are you?
I'm alright, Donna, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, for the people who may not have heard of Wicked,
Of course.
What is the show about?
Well, it's sort of like the precursor story to The Wizard of Oz. So it's the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda the Good that you know from The Wizard of Oz. It's telling you the story of how they grew up, actually how they were friends for a majority of their life, up until the point where you know them as the characters that they are, which is the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch.
And what was your first experience of Wicked? When did Wicked first enter your life?
Well, I was in Les Mis at the time it came here. I had listened to the soundtrack because at the time it came out on Broadway, it was the only show that anyone talked about. It was quite a buzz because it was going to be the big show to come over, and everyone wanted to be in the original cast of it. But I think the first time I saw it, I think was about 3 or 4 years later. It's a show that you just, it was such a buzz, and it was, it is still a buzz.
Oh, massively so.
12 years on, which I find extraordinary, really, because you normally see things dumbed down a bit, and yet the music is still as strong and as empowering as it was when it first came out in that original cast recording. We all loved it, and we all still, everyone wants to sing and Defying Gravity and those songs in any concert they can. So it's amazing, really. I think initially, I missed the initial buzz of it because I was in a show. But I mean, like everyone, I totally bought the soundtrack.
So where were you when you got that phone call being like, Alice, you're Elphaba?
Okay, well, so I was standby for the first year I was here.
Yeah.
And that was, I was on tour with Russell Watson at the time, and I was in Cardiff, I think. And I'd auditioned for it a number of times. I mean, this was my 5th attempt at auditioning for Elphaba or Elphaba Standby, either one. And so I remember my mum was like, "Oh, you're not going in for it again, are you?" And I sort of went, "Yeah, I am. I've got to get it." But I think I had said to myself, maybe this is the last time I'll ever try. If I'm going to get it, it's going to be this time, because I felt confident in the audition. I'm in a really good place. I'm in the right age bracket now to play this, so I felt really confident with it. So when I got that phone call of Standby, my show that night with Russell Watson, I don't think I remembered a single thing. All I cared about was listening to the soundtrack and singing along. When I got the phone call that I was taking over, I was in my kitchen, and the week before, no, it wasn't, it was the week after I got engaged, but we were going on holiday, and I was in my kitchen, and I'd waited about 3 weeks to hear, and I thought, it must have gone another way because I would have heard something by now. And I threw my phone across the room. Gavin was making eggs, and Stuart called me, and he was on the phone, and I just my agent, and he was on loudspeaker, and I thought, why is it on loudspeaker? This is odd. Normally when it's a rejection, it's quite quiet, and he just and he said, just want to let you know, you're going to be playing Elphaba in the West End. And I just went, "Oh, you're joking!" Threw the phone across the room, and we opened a bottle of champagne there and then over eggs on toast.
So, Elphaba is such an iconic role. What has Elphaba taught you as an actress? Because you've done it for such a long time.
The way I've played her has probably evolved. I don't notice it as much, I suppose, but people who've come to see me in Standby and then seen it once I've taken over have gone, "Oh, she's my favourite was my best friend Graham went, she's a different beast now, darling." And I was like, I said, I don't really notice how, but I think what I have always loved about her is she will never accept any wrongdoing that she sees in front of her, and she will stand up and say, regardless of the consequences, she will stand up and say, "No, that's wrong, and I don't agree with that, and I will say that." Don't accept it because maybe you think that's how society should act or how you think people should act. Say it, and I love that about her, and I think probably that's the biggest lesson I've learned.
Because you see her life on stage, Elphaba's life from
Completely,
sort of birth to teen years.
Such a journey, yeah.
Complete journey. And in that journey, have you got a favourite moment in the show that you're like,
But I think there's a number of places. No Good Deed is just the best. Is just the most epic moment. I think as well as an actress, it's the moment where you let everything go. She's quite. Everything is quite black and white to Elphaba, but at the same time, there's so many things that turn her in places, and that's not right. But so there's so much confusion in her life, and that moment where she does No Good Deed is the moment where it just goes, done. I've got it. I know what I'm meant to be. However she was turned that way is not an issue anymore. It's like, okay, I'm done. And I think that's a really lovely moment as an actress to play after what you've been doing for the last hour and a half, 2 hours. It's very, very satisfying. So I think that I would be stupid to not say that's my favourite moment.
And as you said, it's like a 2-hour marathon,
Yeah.
Elphaba. She starts and she just keeps going.
You do not stop.
What gets you through? What are the 5 tips to get you through that show?
I don't tend to do routine too much or get into anything like that, but there are things that I do all the time. I mean, you've got this little drink here that is a vitamin C tablet in Asia, which I take every single day. Just to make sure, because obviously in these buildings, and you've got to be near enough 100% to be able to feel that you can do this show well. I don't eat too close to the show because there is nothing worse than running around that stage for 2.5 hours with the food just there. I drink lots of water and get lots of sleep. Yeah, I think sleep is vital, and rest, and making sure you don't take too much on in your day. It sounds really boring, it sounds like you have to change your life, but you sort of do, really, to make sure that, because it is so big, I've been in the business 15 years, and that isn't the longest time on earth, but I've been in quite a few shows and nothing compares to this.
And in that 15 years, you've obviously done lots of different shows, and obviously Elphaba's a big show. For the young Elphabas out there, or people who want to get into the industry, any tips for them?
Well, I mean, I went the route that a lot of people go down, which is the drama route, the drama school route, 3 years training after I left school, which I think is not essential, but I think is really beneficial, because I hadn't done much drama at all. I could sing and I could play instruments, but I wasn't much drama, and I hadn't danced at all. And although I can't really dance now, at least going to drama school sort of wakes you up into the world of which you're going into, which is that there are dance schools, there are movement calls, there are shows that I have had to do choreography in. And it sort of gives you lots of learning in the areas that maybe you didn't think you needed training in. For any future Elphabas out there, I have to say that my voice is stronger if I've just done 3 weeks straight than the day I come back from holiday. Because actually it's a muscle, it wants to work, and if you're singing correctly, the more you do it, strangely, the easier it becomes. So then suddenly going into drama school and doing 3 years and singing every single day is actually something you have to do, because it's training your voice, it's making those muscles work. Drama school isn't the only, if you can't get into drama school for whatever reason, or you can't afford it, which is a reason that happens a lot nowadays, because they're expensive. As long as you can throw yourself into other training, you can get your own singing lessons, you can do lots of workshops, you can do lots of your own dance classes. I mean, there's Pineapple, there's hundreds of places where you can book a dance class now. So things like that you can do anyway. You can sort of make your own drama school schedule up in a way from varying times. So that's what I would do if drama school wasn't an option. And then, it's that fighting for it, that you've got to have the ultimate determination to succeed through all the no's. I say this a lot, that you've got to prepare yourself for a world of no and the occasional yes. But I think the world of no's make the occasional yes even better. If they get to you too much, then it's not the world for you, it's too hard.
It was a 4 no's and then an Elphaba yes.
Exactly. I didn't get this job 4 times. Yeah. So, but it didn't stop me from going, I will. I've just got to wait.
And obviously the show is long running and it's an epic show, and the standing ovations. What keeps filling those houses? What do you think keeps bringing people back? Is it the story? Is it the strong narrative?
I think it's a bit everything. I think the story is fantastic. Yeah. Very rarely do I find people that don't know something about The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, gotcha.
So I think because I remember my dad didn't know Wicked at all. My mum and dad didn't have a clue what it was when I was up for it first time. And they didn't really know when I got it what it was really. And I remember I went to see them, I took the script with me, I'd been sent the script early, and I took it up, and my dad ended up reading it and going, oh, this is amazing. How they bring, I can't believe they do that, and that links with that. That's great. And sort of read the whole story and just went, well, I think that's amazing. He's seen it 5 or 6 times now, and every single time he comes to see it as well, he goes, I must have missed that before because I didn't notice that happened. So there's so much that he learns every single time he comes. I think that's why people keep coming, because I think there are things you miss because it's so intricately and brilliantly told. And you can't possibly take in every single moment.
No, not at all.
Some people like to go and see shows that have just got spectacle. Well, this has got that. I think people sometimes like a good story and a story that's told well. This has got that. Some people go for music alone. This has got that. So I think it works for everyone, therefore. I think it's got something for everyone, whether they like it or not. And that's why I think it's still so relevant. And it's also got a lot of themes that nowadays we really connect with in this society. So that are quite sad, but at the same time we sit there and go, can you believe that, that's happening? And I think, it's telling a story of what we live in, the world we live in.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We're going to let you get ready for the show.
Have more of my vitamin C.
More vitamin C.
Got to finish it. Yep.
And we'll leave it with you. Thanks so much.